And we're live. What's up, everyone? Hope y'all are having a good day. Happy Friday to you all. I'm joined with my buddy Squash. How are you doing, Squash?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about yourself?
Did you get enough sleep last night?
I don't know if enough is the right word, but I made it through.
Squash joined me last night to watch the Game Awards, which was what 1:30 a.m. for you.
Yep, I didn't get into bed until about 5 in the morning. So yeah,
And then you had to get up 2 hours later.
yep,
But you did get some more sleep a little earlier than that. So
yeah, I did.
okay, well that's good. Um, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We are going to be talking about the Game Awards. We're going to be talking about Sony State of Play that happened earlier this week,
Hmm.
and of course the games we've been playing. So I guess let's just jump in.
Okie dokie.
What do you want to talk about?
Um, you want to start off with Death Stranding, or
Sure,
I will start off with Death Stranding.
go for it.
Um, I'd kind of been putting it off for a while. I don't know why, but I finally sat down and beat the game last weekend, I think. Um, and it was very satisfying. I don't want to spoil too much or say a whole lot in regards to the story, but in regards to the gameplay, it definitely slowed down quite a lot in the last 3 to 4 hours. Um, it was like majority of it was cutscenes, but they were good cutscenes, and it didn't feel like bogged down by the cutscenes or anything. It all flowed together pretty well. Um, and I think surprisingly, I wasn't that confused by the end of the game.
Yeah, that's what's kind of been surprising to me basically the whole time I've been playing it, because I thought it was just going to be such a convoluted mess. And
Hmm.
just again, my only real experience that I have with Kojima games are Metal Gear Solid 5, and I just thought
Hmm.
that was a mess as far as the story. um
Likewise.
but yeah, I mean, Death Stranding is very weird, and there's a bunch of things
Hmm.
that are just silly and just over the top, and just like you just
Kojima.
ask why.
Yeah.
But every time I play it, I'm just intrigued, and I find myself enjoying it.
Hmm.
So you felt like the story wrapped up well, and like it was actually a satisfying story, and
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah, I
leave
think
you
so
with
for
too many
sure.
questions or anything like that.
I think the questions it did leave me with, it did so on purpose to leave it open ended in those certain respects. Um, but like the main story and the main character arcs all kind of came together pretty nicely.
Hmm. Cool.
Not, I'm not saying it was a happy ending or anything. Um,
Oh,
it
so
wasn't
it's
a
a
horrible
sad
ending.
ending.
It wasn't a sad ending.
Well, there
I
you
just want to
go.
say
Squash
I
just
wasn't. I wasn't
spoiled it.
insinuating that it was a happy ending. It's just an ending.
So there is
But
an end.
somehow, yes, there is an end.
Spoiler, Squash.
Sorry, I shouldn't have spoiled that.
It was an ending.
There is
Um,
two credit scenes though, or
okay.
two lots of credits, which is weird. Um, so like you get one lot of credits, and then the game just continues on, and then you get more credits like 2 hours later,
Oh
um,
goodness.
and then there's a tiny bit more after that, but you're kind of done after that second lot of
That
credits. So
reminds me of Final Fantasy 15. Did you beat Final Fantasy 15?
uh, I did beat it, but I don't remember the credits. No.
There's like quite a bit after the credits still. And it like just keeps going. It's like you think it's over and it just keeps going. Um, man, I've been thinking a lot about Final Fantasy 15 lately. I don't know why. I feel like I like that game more and more the longer it
Hmm.
sits with me. And the way that they kept working on it, and I know that I don't know, there's been all kinds of mix-ups with Final Fantasy 15, but it improved so much compared to launch. The way it launched
Hmm.
on PlayStation 4. Did it come out on Xbox also at the same time?
I think so.
anyway, I played it through when it came there, and I thought it was okay. But then when it came out on PC, I could not believe how different the ending was and how much they changed and fixed.
Yeah, on the PC, I think played a maximum of 5 or 6 hours. I haven't fully played through it on PC, so maybe I should do that.
Wait, did you play through it on PS4?
I played through it. Yeah, I played through it fully on PS4 release.
Yeah, you should because it is very different. I don't know. It's so different that I question like if I missed something when I was playing it through the first time. But yeah, it is vastly different. What's up, Zeptimus, Stone? How are you guys doing? French, hello. What game are we talking about? We're talking about, well, we were talking about Death Stranding, and then I somehow sidetracked us on Final Fantasy 15. But yeah, going back to Death Stranding, I still definitely want to play more. I intend on finishing it. It's just a very slow game. I'm honestly not really in a rush to finish it. I really enjoy kind of dragging it out. It's it's one of those games that's very just kind of relaxing when I play. I feel like if I played like 8 hours of it at one time, I might get a little frustrated with it. So I'm just kind of enjoying playing like 2 or 3 hours here and there.
I think that was an issue I ran into towards the end because I kind of on the Saturday sat down and played 6 or 7 hours, and then I was just so fed up and kept spamming for the ending to finally roll, and it never did, so I gave up for the day. And then went back yesterday, and I was kind of fresh mind and everything, and finished it out properly. Cool. Which I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't push it.
Yeah. What's up, Sid? We're doing good, Zeptimus. I hope everyone in chat is doing well. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Absolutely, Zeptimus. Zeptimus is just saying thanks for streaming yesterday. I know I was quiet, but I was lurking. I enjoyed hearing both of your comments. Yeah, I'm glad that we could do that. I really, really love doing those kind of things. I love doing anytime there's an announcement. I just love watching it with other people that enjoy those kind of things. Because
it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, I always just used to watch those by myself, and I really like watching it with other people now.
Same.
So yeah, Death Stranding. I definitely want to play more, and I'm glad to hear that. Like, it's not a super disappointing ending or anything like that. It's not like a Metal Gear Solid 5 ending or something.
No, not at all.
Did you finish Metal Gear Solid 5?
I think I played 15, 20 hours. So I didn't get very far in it at all, I don't think.
Oh, okay. I honestly was really enjoying it, despite all the story mess, up until the part where you start having to repeat the missions, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's so stupid. You have to just literally start repeating the exact same missions. Like, I don't know, 40 hours in, but they're on a harder difficulty. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this again. So I just gave up.
I think the latest point, or the latest thing I remember doing in that game was going up against like the children soldiers that you had to avoid killing.
I don't remember anything about... Oh, yeah, no, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about as far as I went.
Okay, Origin, I don't want to install an update right now. Gracious. Where did that come from? Stone, you have 725 hours in MGS5?
How on earth?
How is that even possible?
Yeah.
Zeptimus, I would say wait for it to come out on PC if you can. Like, unless you're really dying to play it. That's coming out when? Like 6 months from when it came out?
Yeah, so probably
like May, June. There's going to be so many games between now and then.
I know.
I would like January is going to be a little dry. But I honestly have so much to play right now. I don't feel like January and February is going to be too bad. But come March, I don't know what in the world we're going to do.
I think if you need a game to play now, then Death Stranding's a good one to go for, especially with the next 2 months being kind of dry. Um, so if you're debating buying Death Stranding, then I'd say go for it now. If you don't have anything else you're currently playing as well.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of stacked up on other games, then wait until next summer when it will probably come out. Because next summer I expect will be pretty pretty empty release wise.
Zeptimus, have you played Red Dead 2 yet? Because that's out on PC now, and that's really tempting me.
True. It's also amazing.
I just saw that you had been playing it. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I can't really say much on Red Dead itself because I think everyone's kind of heard enough about Red Dead 2 as a game.
Mm-hmm.
But in regards to it being a PC port, the optimization since release has gotten much, much better for me personally, anyway. Like, I was suffering from crashes, I couldn't load the game properly, and now I kind of been on and off the past week or so, and I've had no issues at all running the game or starting up the game. It plays well both mouse and keyboard and controller on PC, which is nice because sometimes you kind of just want to sit back with a controller and play, and then other times you're kind of just into the game and want to switch to mouse and keyboard. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me that does that, but it's a nice option to have.
Yeah, now that it's out on Steam, I'm really tempted to buy it, and it's also 20% off right now.
That is not bad at all. You never finished it, did you?
No, I mean, I played a good amount of it, but I only got to like chapter 1, I think. I don't think I even made it to chapter 2.
You must have made it to chapter 2 because chapter 2 starts once you get out of the mountains.
Oh, I thought that was the prologue.
Maybe that is the prologue, or that's chapter. I don't know.
Well, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I played like probably 20 hours of it, but I just didn't really do a whole lot of story stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I would guess late chapter 2.
Maybe late chapter 2, yeah. But yeah, I really, really want to go back to that, and I really just want to like dive deep into that world and just get totally lost in it.
It's easily like 3 times as good on PC as my experience was on console.
Do you feel like the special edition is worth it?
What do you get in the special edition? Like the bonuses?
You get. Let me see. Special edition delivers exclusive content for story mode, including a bank robbery mission and gang hideout. Dapple Black Thoroughbred. I don't care about the cosmetics. I'm just curious if the story mission is worth it.
How much extra is it?
Well, currently it's $60 for the special edition. It's normally $80.
Mm-hmm. How much is like the regular edition though?
20% off, so it's $48. So it's $12 more for the special edition.
Are you going to play any of the online?
No. Highly doubt it.
I don't know then, because it's only one mission, and I don't know whether that one mission is worth $12 or not.
I wish you could just buy the mission later on. Like, you know, if you really love it, you know, just put it as a DLC.
It is a good mission, but $12 is quite a bit for that one mission.
I don't know. I don't know what to do now.
Also, that horse isn't cosmetic. It's like an actual higher stat horse.
Oh, really? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, no, Duckris, the chapters are like really long in Red Dead. And, you know, like there's so much side stuff you can do. You can basically just never finish the game and play for hundreds of hours. French is asking what's your setup like. He's on a 970 with crappy RAM, and I'm afraid that I won't run well on my PC.
I'm running a 2060 with an 8th Gen i5. But I also have 16 gigs of pretty high speed RAM, and I'm running kind of a balanced balanced set of settings, so kind of a mix of everything. And I get, like, I rarely drop below 60. It's kind of in the mid 70s, low 80s.
I've heard it's pretty scalable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're not going to be able to max it out, but I imagine that you're probably going to get at least, Xbox One, PS4 level graphics. It's not going to look worse than
At
that.
60 FPS, yeah.
Yeah.
If you were going to play with a controller, I'd say you'd be fine. But if it's strictly mouse and keyboard, you want to play the game as, then maybe I tend to quite a lot kind of look up YouTube videos and see if people have done benchmarks with like my setup for a certain game.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me a pretty good idea of what to expect. So maybe try that if you know your specs kind of that extensive.
Yeah. Stadia has Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah. I don't know.
If you have very good internet, maybe.
Even if you had good internet, I still doubt it.
Well, yeah.
In a game that already struggles from delay input, I don't know if you would really want to play that on Stadia. Reality, have you tried it? There's zero delay input? I don't know. Everything I've seen, it just seems like it's not great. I mean, if you have a hardwire connection, it seems like it might be okay, but it seems like it's still occasionally kind of a little laggy. You have played it, Reality? Yeah, that's a good idea for looking into the benchmarks. So are you just playing any of the online, or are you just going through the story again?
No, I'm mostly just playing solo at the moment. I'm kind of just roaming around, doing a couple side missions here and there, and then the occasional main story mission. It's very, very casual at the moment.
Gotcha.
Like I'll start it up for an hour or two at a time every other day or so.
Well, see, that's a big factor, Reality. He says that there's a Google data center 20 kilometers from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with this, it's like, yeah, if you're right next to a data center, then yeah, it's going to be fine. But if you live, out in the middle of nowhere, even if you have crazy fast internet, there's just going to be a delay. There's no way to get around that. So yeah, it's just different for everyone, and it's hard to really figure that out. Let's see. What else have you been playing?
Surprisingly enough, I've been playing a bit of Battlefront 2. The controversial one, not the original one. And it's not as controversial anymore. It's like almost an entirely new game for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Which is actually really nice because it's kind of just a fun game to sit down and play for a little bit here and there. They've added in tons and tons of new maps. There's a big new game mode that's kind of now one of the most played ones. There's all sorts of new heroes, like you can play as Grievous, Obi-Wan, Anakin, all the kind of prequel characters, as well as, the sequels and obviously the originals.
Yeah, I didn't, I played a tiny bit of it when it first launched, and I honestly didn't hate it when it first launched.
No, neither did I. The main thing that annoyed me was the, obviously, microtransactions, and that if they wanted to, people could kind of buy the packs and then have that significant advantage over you in game. But now it's all down to you leveling up individual classes in the game, and then you get skill points, which you can then invest into like the skill cards that improve your stats.
Yeah.
And then all the microtransactions now are.
If they had just launched it like this, that game would have been amazing, and it probably would have done really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on you, EA.
Shame. We need a little bell to ring.
Shame.
Shame.
Ding. Shame. Oh, man. You just reminded me of Game of Thrones now. Now I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
What a mess Game of Thrones was.
Well, towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was 11 out of 10 up until the last season. Really, the
Even
season
season
before
7 was
that.
kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
Ugh, okay. Happy thoughts. Cyberpunk. Red Dead. All right.
Moving on swiftly.
Let's see. You want to talk about Halo Reach? I've been playing. Well, I played a
Yeah,
tiny bit of that.
I've played a couple hours maybe.
What do you think?
Um,
Have you? Okay. First of all, what's your history with Halo?
Personally, from what I've played, I think the series is overrated. Um, my main Halo game was Halo 3, and the majority of that I did in that was the campaign. I literally just replayed the campaign over and over again because I loved it. Um, and I never got drawn in by the multiplayer literally until I played 5 a few years ago. And then I've kind of been waiting for the Master Chief Collection to come to PC because I wanted to try the multiplayer. And since it came to PC, I've now realized that mouse and keyboard Halo isn't the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So Halo Reach, have you been playing the campaign or multiplayer?
I've played the first mission of the campaign, but otherwise it's been mostly multiplayer.
Yeah, so my history with Halo is I played a tiny bit. I mean, like maybe 30 minutes of the first one. Like close to when it came out. Maybe it was, I don't know, a few years after it came out on PC. The only way to play video games. No, I'm just kidding. And it didn't really do a whole lot for me, but I mean, I was a very different gamer back then. I don't know if it would still do anything for me though, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I can't really say too much because I haven't really played much of Halo. I just cannot play any type of game that requires aiming with a controller. So I just never got interested in any of the Halo games since they moved to console. Now that they're bringing the Master Chief Collection to PC, though, I was pretty, mildly interested in checking them out. So I booted up Halo Reach, and it may be because I just wasn't in a great mood when I was playing it, but I just did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah, it's odd.
My understanding was that Halo Reach was like a prequel, and it was like the first one, in chronological order. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be great to jump into as a new player. They don't tell you anything about what's going on. You just like put in a plane and just like dropped off, and you're just killing. I don't even know what I'm killing. And yeah, I mean, it felt fine to me. Like, it played fine. It felt extremely arcadey. I hate how there's like zero recoil with all of the weapons. All of the weapons just feel exactly the same. Now, someone in chat was telling me, I think Gustian was telling me that it's because you're like a super soldier and his suit like stops the recoil or something like that. I mean, that's fine if they build that into the lore, but when I fire a gun in a game, I want it to feel like I'm firing a gun, and it feels like I'm shooting a BB gun, like every single weapon. So I didn't like that, and it's like semi-open levels, not really open world, but it's like a huge open level, and I had no idea where I was supposed to go half the time. There's like not really any kind of indicators of where you're supposed to go and what your mission is, what you're really supposed to be doing, and I don't know, it just felt like a mess. That's why you play them in release order. Well, I can't play Halo. Well, I guess I could play Halo 1 if I could find a CD-ROM of Halo 1, probably.
Unless you played it on console, but then...
Yeah, but like I said, I just can't do that. So yeah, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in that, but I mean, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot. But I don't know. Halo just feels very, very arcadey to me, and there's something about Microsoft games. I don't want to generalize Microsoft so much, but it's kind of the same way with Gears of War to me. It's like it just feels very arcadey, just very video gamey. It's like with Gears of War, I felt like this a lot, where the level design just feels kind of old. Like you just go into a large area that's kind of like, and I'm speaking about Gears now, but it's like
Hmm.
very obvious setup. Like, oh, there's these things that are made to hide behind for
Hmm.
shooting from cover and things like that, and it just doesn't feel very organic, I guess. Um, and I don't know. I kind of get that feeling with Halo as well. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play anymore. I played a tiny bit of the multiplayer. I played like 2 matches
Hmm.
and just wasn't really digging that very much.
Yeah.
It could be because I'm playing a lot of Modern Warfare and I'm just like really invested in Modern Warfare's multiplayer right now. Um, but yeah, I was not very impressed at all with Halo Reach.
Honestly, I'm kind of the same. I was uh, very excited for it, mainly because my friend, who's like the biggest Halo fan ever, was getting me excited for it. And then it came out, and he's like loving it, which I'm happy for him that he's liking it so much. But I just don't have that, I guess, Halo feeling that the people who enjoy it do. Um, and honestly, I would like to play the Reach campaign because I've never fully played it through.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard it's one of the better ones, but I don't know whether I'll be able to like be able to handle it all. Although I don't know, I might. If it's kind of short, then probably.
I, depending on how long it takes them to get out all of the games, I might go back at some time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe dabble in some of them. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to really like get super into them though.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, commentator? You just love the Halo universe so much. I'm always happy to be spending time in it. I totally understand it. Please don't get the wrong idea. If you enjoy Halo, like more power to you. I know it's a
Yeah.
hugely popular series. Um, and I feel bad for trashing on it because I know so many people love it, and I know so many people have like a huge nostalgia for like playing Halo with their friends and things like that. I just never had that,
Yeah,
um,
neither did I.
so it's hard for me to kind of relive those moments.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, depending on how long it takes for them to get all of the games out, I'm sure I'll at least check them out as they come. And again, don't get me wrong, like I would love to get into these games. Hearing people talk about them and like how much they love the universe and everything like that just makes me want to get into it so much. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I can, but I don't know. Halo Reach just didn't really do it for me.
I think I'll still give it some time
Yeah.
to let it sit and decide whether I
I
want to go
I
back to
also
it.
had quite a few bugs, which was a little frustrating just because, like they were talking about how they kept delaying it so that they could get it right and they wanted it to run, 100% perfect, but there was this one bug that like I was supposed to open a big garage door thing and it just would not open,
Mm-hmm.
and like I had no idea what I was supposed to do. People in chat were telling me that the door was supposed to open and it was just not opening.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Reach is probably one of the weaker installments. See, I've heard the opposite. I've heard a lot of people say that Reach was really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard it. From what I've heard, people call it like the most underrated in the series, but I don't know whether that means it's one of the best or not.
Maybe it's not the best one to start with.
Maybe not.
It certainly feels like it's not a great one to start with just because of the way they just kind of throw you right into the middle of things.
Yeah, that is true.
You want to talk about Max Payne 2?
For a little bit, I can, yeah. So I have not played Max Payne 1. I played Max Payne 3 a few times. Kind of when it came out, I was really in love with the game, even though I had no previous experience with Max Payne. Um, and so, for some reason, kind of out of nowhere, I got this urge to play Max Payne. Thankfully, during I think uh, it was either the Halloween or Black Friday sale. It was like £2.50 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I picked up Max Payne 2. I got it working on my PC fine with widescreen support and all that. And I am liking it quite a bit so far. Um, it runs well for an old game. There's no kind of performance issues. The only, I guess, PC related issue I have is the controls on mouse and keyboard are a bit weird to get used to. Because like rather than aiming in with the right mouse button, it kind of slows down time.
Yeah, there's no
Um,
like real aim down sights or anything. I mean, even though it's a third person, it's not like it kind of zooms in or anything. When you hit right
mhm.
mouse button, that's just the button that they decided was going to be the slowdown mechanic, which I agree does feel weird at first, but once you get used to it, it feels so good to run into a room. Also, you know about the shift key, right?
Yeah, you can like do the dot jumps and dodge
Yeah.
rolls. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. I I just love going into a room in Max Payne 2, like opening the door and then jumping in slow motion and like just taking out the enemies in bullet
Hmm.
time. It feels so good. Um, I think that game still holds up pretty
It
well.
really does. The graphics are like surprisingly good.
Yeah. And that game came out what, like 2004 or something?
I have no idea, honestly.
2006? I don't know. It's old. Did you watch the recap for Max Payne 1?
Yeah, I did. I did watch the recap, and it explained things pretty well. I have a
Yeah.
pretty good idea of what's going on in the game, story wise. So I don't feel I'm very lost in that department, which
Um,
is nice.
the the way the story is told in the cut scenes, but they're like a graphic novel style,
Hmm.
and it's like very film noir.
Yeah, for sure.
I just love how they do that. And I think that's one of the things I really didn't like about Max Payne 3. It felt so different. Is like as far as being really dark and gritty, it didn't really
Hmm.
give me that feeling like Max Payne 1 and 2 did. How much of 2 have you played?
Um, I can tell you uh, about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So I don't think the game is very long.
I think it's like
Um,
8 to 10 hours maybe.
yeah, so I'm like 20, 25% of the way through.
Yeah. Um I think the story is really good in it too. I mean, it's a little cliche, but
Yeah.
I really like. I don't know. There's just something about those cutscenes and his super gritty voice and how dark it
Hmm.
is and everything. And have you met Mona Sachs yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh man, I really want to replay that game. You should play one if you can. French. I don't know if you've played one recently, but I cannot get it to run on my computer. There's a really weird sound issue that the sound just does not work for me. I
Hmm.
don't know if I would say Max Payne 1 holds up graphically as well because it looks pretty rough,
Hmm.
especially the like the character textures are pretty
Yeah,
bad.
the faces are like pretty funny to be honest.
Yeah. Um, but the gameplay is still really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, French. I don't know why. I've tried like over the past 5 years to get Max Payne 1 to run, and I just cannot get it to run. I definitely think 2 is better, but if you
Yeah,
like 2, then I think it would be worth going back to 1 to play because it's just
even
it's
after knowing the story.
um I think so. Yeah. It's
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on how much you like the gameplay because the gameplay
Hmm.
is almost identical.
Okay.
Um but if you really like the gameplay, I think it's worth going back through because you still get like the really cool graphic novel style cutscenes, and it's just fun to kind of watch it play out. And I think it's pretty short too. I think it may be even shorter than 2.
Hmm.
You
It is
think?
also a bit more difficult than I anticipated. I'm not gonna lie, which
Yeah,
is odd because like there was when I started up the game, there was like 10 different difficulty options, and
yeah,
only the first one was unlocked for me.
yeah,
Um, and even that first one is like sometimes I'm getting absolutely battered by these guys.
yeah.
It's
You have to really
it's difficult.
utilize the slowdown, the
Hmm.
bullet time, And I mean, this is back when PC games were games and not,
Yeah.
Halo. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, when games were actually difficult.
Yeah. That's cool though. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I love Max Payne 2. I still have the DVD or CD, whatever it is, of Max Payne 2, and it's one of my favorite cases for a video game. Just the style of it.
Yeah, the
Because
box
it's
art.
yeah, box art. Thank you. It's black and white, and it's just like a silhouette of Max. And when you open it up, it's like a silhouette of Max and Mona, and it's
That's
so
cool.
good. I love it. You been playing anything else that you want to talk about?
Oh, I did play a bit of the new Destiny season,
Oh yeah.
which is actually surprisingly good. I didn't have much expectation for it or have very high expectations because in the past, these kind of seasonal drops haven't been the most content filled. It kind of comes in drips and drabs. But it released on Tuesday, and I'm it's kind of all I can think about, to be honest, in terms of what I want to play, because I played it quite a bit Tuesday and Wednesday evening, and then I've been busy ever since. So I'm excited to get to it a bit more over the weekend and delve more into that game.
Is it how does the season work? Is it free or is it like a battle pass or
Um, e- so I think there's kind of like with the season comes some free content and then some content you get if you pay for like the season pass. Um, so like if you pay for the season pass, you get access to the season exclusive event, which is called the Sundial, which is a unique way to get some weapons and armor that are unique to said event. Um, and you can also get like the battle pass type thing that gives you all sorts of materials and engrams and also armor and eventually ornaments and all that nice stuff. It's none of it's I think like weapons and armor that are actually going to boost you in terms of how good you are or how good your character is compared to others in like PvP or something. Um, but you still do get armor, but that's acquirable without having to pay for it. It's kind of weird how it all works, but it's all done pretty cleanly at the end of the day.
Hmm.
And then obviously every week or so they're adding more to the story because their kind of thing with Destiny over the next year is, I want to say dragging out, but that's kind of a bad way to put it. They're kind of releasing the story in um, in drips and drabs so that it doesn't get stale, and you're always wanting more and wanting to come back to see the next part, or if there's a new quest coming out that's going to give you some loot that you want to get, it gives you incentive to come back. So it's a pretty cool way they're doing things, and it doesn't feel like they're kind of drip feeding it to the players, which is nice too, because it's felt like that in the past, but they seem to have kind of found their rhythm in terms of releasing content and releasing the right amount at the right time, so on and so forth. But yeah, if you've played Destiny, I think you kind of know what to expect. It's going to pull you in again, as it always does. But if you haven't, then I don't think this isn't something you should pick up the game for. I don't think this season in particular, anyway.
I think I've just accepted that I'm probably not going to be able to get into Destiny.
Mm-hmm. I've had to do that for quite a few games. I'm not gonna lie.
It kind of sucks, but I don't know. I want to. I've tried. I enjoyed my time with Destiny 2. I mean, I played through the campaign twice. But it just never, like, every time I would get through the campaign, I'd be like, okay, I really just am kind of burned out with this. I don't have any desire to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like
say,
I want to go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's tough.
But
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many games out that you really just have to pick and choose your games. You just can't play everything. And these games that are games like Destiny, that are these live service games that just go on and on and on and just never end. it's like I can't play all of them. It's just physically impossible. There's just not enough time in the day to play all of these games. Like I want to play Warframe, but I can't.
Yeah.
There's no way that I would have time to play that and Destiny and Modern Warfare and 15 MMOs that I would like to play.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I
will say quickly, Stone Owl is completely kind of on point about the New Light stuff. If you're a New Light player, the game is going to be confusing as all hell. I can't really give you any pointers just because there's so much that's available to you when you start that game. But trying to kind of find a guide out there or something that will tell you where to go and what to do first is probably a good idea. Yeah, it's not good how they've done New Light. Hopefully they improve it over the course of time, and I'm sure they will, because Bungie are pretty good with improving things over time and generally not releasing things in a good state. But I'm just used to that by now. So also, friend said Destiny seems like a game that's only fun with friends. I agree for sure, but only to a certain extent, because I don't think it's only fun with friends, because I play it like 95% solo on PC, and I play it a lot. So
it's not the kind of game. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not the kind of game that you would really want to like just sit down and like zone out everything else and play. But it's the perfect game like to watch a podcast or listen to a podcast while you're playing or watch a show or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
I think the main reason I'm into Destiny so much is because I played so much of Destiny 1 with friends, that I kind of, when it came to Destiny 2 and moving to PC to play it, I'm, I guess, used to the environment of Destiny, so I'm not too upset about having to play solo most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Perfect game to listen to Joy of Pixels podcast.
Exactly.
We're doing good, Vermalt. How are you? Yeah. Any other games?
I think that's about it.
Well, let's see. I played. I've been playing a lot of Modern Warfare. I probably play, I don't know, a couple of hours every day. I feel like.
I didn't know you played it that much.
I'm at level 84.
Oh my god!
I've been playing a lot.
I don't think I'm even level 30 yet. Jesus.
The thing that keeps drawing me back is, they have those daily missions or whatever.
Like the daily bounties.
Yeah, and you get a lot of XP for that. And it's really fun because, like, one of them will be, like, yesterday there was one that was, like, kill 75 enemies with an SMG. So it just always keeps mixing up things. So, like, I have to just constantly... like, I have my favorite weapons that I use, but I really enjoyed, like, trying out different weapons. And just the sheer number of unlocks that they have for everything. Like, every weapon has its own level, and then every weapon has its own unlocks, and then the unlocks have unlocks. Like,
yeah,
you unlock a scope, and then you have, like, a mission to kill, like, 100 enemies with that scope, and then you unlock something for that scope. It's just crazy, and I really, really enjoy that. I even bought the battle pass.
Oh my! That I don't think, honestly, I would have ever expected that.
Here's the thing: I didn't buy it because I just had the Call of Duty points. I don't even know what those are. I don't know how I got them. I guess they've carried over from game to game because I've bought every Call of Duty there is, and I guess maybe I got some for buying one, or I don't know, playing past multiplayers or something like that. But yeah, it's not really that bad of a deal. It's 1,000 Call of Duty points, whatever, which is
I thought it was 2,000.
No, it's only 1,000, which is just $10. But you can earn all of that currency in the battle pass.
Yeah, that's similar to how it works in Fortnite.
Yeah, so like there's 100 tiers in the battle pass, and you can earn like 1,300 Call of Duty points just by playing through the battle pass. Now, some of the things are locked to only the battle pass, but all of the guns that are in the battle pass are free. You don't have to have the battle pass, so I feel like that's, perfectly acceptable. And I don't feel like it takes super long to get through. People have been saying that it's super grindy, but I'm already like 33 tiers in or something like that.
Holy moly.
So I'm like a third of the way through, and there's still like 50 days left. So yeah, I really like how they do the double XP now. They used to do like every week, once or twice out of a quarter or something like that, they would have a free weekend or like a double XP weekends, but now you just have tokens that you can activate whenever you want. So you have like an hour token for double XP that you can activate, so that's fun to use, and you can unlock those in the battle pass. Yeah, I've really been enjoying it, and it's crazy to me because I've never really gotten into any kind of multiplayer games like this. But the modes are just, I don't know, they're really fun. I really like the gun fight or gun game. I can't ever remember what it's called, but it's the 2v2 mode. Although
gunfight.
They have changed it, and it really annoys me because everyone used to start with the same weapons, but now they changed it to where you have to pick up weapons.
Oh, that's weird.
It's really annoying because they just have like random weapons, and so like you'll get a pistol and somebody else will have like a submachine gun or something like that.
I do not like that change.
I don't like it either. I really hope that they bring the original mode back.
I will say I logged on to Modern Warfare, I think a day or two after the new patch came out, and I wanted to play gun game, but it wasn't there anymore. And it's like they put it in for like 2 or 3 days and then
they
removed
keep putting modes in and then they'll take them out. Like they have a new mode called Infection. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like it's a cool mode. It's actually really cool. It's everyone starts out on the same team. Like you're just playing against bots at first, and the bots are infected, and they only have a knife, and they all come and try and attack you. And once they kill you, then you turn into the infected, and then you have to try and go and kill the other people. And you just survive for as long as you can. But yeah, I'm afraid that they're just going to take that mode out. I don't know why in the world they're doing that. They had gun game in there for like 2 days.
Yeah. I really wish they'd add in like an arcade playlist that would have all the cool game modes in there, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah, me too. French, when you played Modern Warfare, levels stopped at 55. Are you talking about the original Modern Warfare? Well, back then they had the Prestige thing, which I never prestiged. I never got far enough to have a Prestige. But I don't think you can Prestige in this game.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I could be wrong. Of course, they may change that too.
Yeah, they're always changing stuff with that game.
Yeah, that's what's kind of frustrating to me. Let's see. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. I really have been enjoying that, as you can probably tell. We talked about Halo Reach. Been playing a little bit of that. I played a tiny bit of Phoenix Point. And I don't know. I have very mixed feelings on it.
Yeah.
I need to play a lot more. I mean, I'm definitely going to play the whole game, but it's super bothering to me that you cannot remap any of the keys in this game. And looking on the forums, it just seems like it's a mess because they had this in a previous build, and the QA lead was even talking about this in the forums that like they were super upset that this went through and they didn't even approve it, but they still like put this build through. And so the QA lead was saying that like our next patch, we're going to do everything we can to put the key bindings in. It's just crazy that you would launch a game without a PC game without the ability to bind any of the keys. And it's not that big of a deal for me because it's only like a couple of keys that I want to rebind. But if you are in another country and you have, like a different keyboard layout, then that's super frustrating for people.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than that, well, I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about Phoenix Point. Phoenix Point, if you don't know what it is kind of it is basically XCOM. It's from the guy who originally created XCOM, and it's very much like XCOM, except instead of fighting aliens, you're fighting like weird crab people that came from the ocean. But yeah, it's a turn-based strategy game, very much in the same vein of XCOM. Other than that, I've been playing The Outer Worlds. I've been enjoying The Outer Worlds, but it hasn't like really, really gripped me yet, which is a little surprising. I was really expecting to just like really get into The Outer Worlds. Like
Same happened for me.
It's really good, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm still very early on. Like I haven't even fixed my ship yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing every one of the side quests. Maybe that's part of the problem.
I did that too, though. So
yeah, like I just want to do everything on that first world that I can. But I'm definitely going to continue. Definitely going to finish that game, unless I don't know. I really get tired of it, but I don't imagine that I will. I still really enjoy it. Trying to think if there's anything else I've been playing. I booted up Hitman 2 to see if the holiday mission was in it yet, and it's not, so gonna wait on that. Yeah. I really, really want to play Disco Elysium.
I do too, honestly. That's like that and Escape from Tarkov are two games I'm like on the edge of buying at the moment.
Escape from Tarkov?
Yeah.
Yeah, Escape from Tarkov, I really want to play, but at the same time, I really want to wait until that game is fully finished, because I feel like my enjoyment is just so much higher with games when I skip the betas and the alphas, and I just wait until they're finished.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything else that I've been playing.
Go into the news then?
Yeah, let's talk about State of Play. You want to do that first?
Sounds good. Yeah.
So Sony had a State of Play, which is their kind of Nintendo Direct style that they're doing now, and let's see, what did they announce? Let me look here. Well, the big thing was Resident Evil 3 Remake. Yeah. It was already leaked. We knew it was going to happen. Resident Evil 3 Remake was, I guess, officially announced at the State of Play. It's coming out April 3rd, which is really soon.
Yeah, like surprisingly soon.
Along with Resident Evil 3, they're going to just throw in the Project Resistance, which is their kind of multiplayer mode that they're adding on to that. But, I mean, I don't even have to ask. I know you're crazy excited for this.
Yeah, for sure.
I am too. It's funny, like, a little over a year ago, I was not into Resident Evil at all. But knowing that Resident Evil 2 was coming out, I really wanted to try and get into it. I was kind of leery of playing Resident Evil 1 because I had tried before and really didn't like the camera angles and the controls and everything like that, but I stuck with it. I had Decellus here to help me through it, and I loved that game. I really, really fell in love with that franchise. And then going into Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 2 was one of my most enjoyable experiences in gaming from this year. Easily one of my most enjoyable experiences. And so I am just incredibly excited for RE3.
Had you played RE7 before 1?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, okay, I guess Now that I think about it, yeah, RE7 is what really got me into it.
Yeah, same for me because that was honestly that was the first horror game I ever like was excited to pick up, and I actually completed it because I've never beaten like Alien Isolation. I don't think because that game just scares the hell out of me, and it's way too long.
It
Um,
is, yeah, it drags out a little bit. Still a good game.
it is still a good game. Like I get terrified by it, but I can appreciate the fact that it's a pretty damn good game.
Yeah.
And I think just in general, I don't know what it is, but like the idea of sitting down and wanting to be terrified sounds fun at first, and then I sit down and I can't make it 5 minutes into the game I'm deciding to play. So yeah,
To sell this Resident
but
Evil 7 is your least favorite in the main title? Like even
Whoa.
least favorite out of 5 and 6? That's
I suppose
surprising.
I haven't played 5 and 6, but 6 definitely looks better than 5, and from what I've seen personally.
Yeah. Um I can't remember what I was going to say now. I was going to say something about Resident Evil. I don't know. I'm crazy excited for RE3.
I am too, for sure.
5 and 6 are better action games than 7 is a horror game. Yeah, I mean, 7 is not. I don't know. 7 is
7,
just unique. It's not like super scary.
yeah,
But
it was kind of a horror game for the first 5 hours or so, if that, and then once you start to get all the weapons and stuff, it's not as scary in my opinion.
I don't know if I would really say RE2 is a horror game, though. Would you?
I mean, Mr. X scared the crap out of me personally.
Yeah. Especially early on.
Yeah, especially early on.
Yeah.
But like I said, with RE7, it got easier to handle the scariness as you got more weapons, and
Hmm.
I guess it's the same with RE2 in that respect.
I kind of feel
Um,
like, yeah, I kind of feel like that's how it is for me with RE. Well, I guess with all of the Resident Evils.
mhm.
I think 1 may be the most scary. But
Do you think
again,
that's kind of where
it's
they're going with the survival horror genre type stuff, though?
yeah, that's the thing. Like when I think of a horror game, I think of like Soma
Hmm.
or what's the game that the people made Soma made before that?
Amnesia.
Amnesia. Amnesia the Dark Descent like legitimately bothered me. Like that's one of the few games that I had to literally stop playing and just like
Mhm.
take a break before I could continue because it made me so uncomfortable playing that game. But like Resident Evil 2, yeah, I mean, there's definitely some scary parts to it, but it's more just jump scares
Yeah,
and really good atmosphere. I will definitely admit
for
that it has
sure.
really good atmosphere.
Hmm.
But as far as just like disturbing horror goes, Amnesia takes the cake for me.
I honestly don't think I have the experience to give a solidified opinion on the best horror game because I'm not man enough to play through them.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything other than Amnesia that is more scary?
Um, Outlast 1, maybe?
Outlast 1, I hated. I
Oh, okay, never mind then.
to me, it was just straight up jump scares. Like
Yeah.
I went into that insane asylum and like every corner you go around, I'm like, okay, there's gonna be something that's gonna jump out and scare me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did not like Outlast at all. I hate the having to hold up your camera the whole time.
I kind of like it personally because it feels new and different, but um, then again, I say that, but I've not played more than an hour of Outlast, so maybe it gets old pretty quick.
Have you played Alan Wake?
I have played Alan Wake.
I do. I mean, it's not really super scary, but it's got some really good atmospheric moments in it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's hilarious. My dad, he bought it when I like when it came out, I guess, because his sister or my aunt is a big gamer too, and she's really into Alan Wake, and so my dad picked it up, and he literally had to get my mum to sit down with him so that he could play it without getting scared, and I don't think he made it more than 20 minutes without having to turn it off, which is quite funny because then I picked it up and played it through like almost with no issue. He was rather surprised.
I'm just trying to think of any other horror games. Evil Within is pretty good, but again, it's kind of...
I think it struggles from the same issue as RE7 and
Yeah.
RE2.
Like anytime you have weapons in a game and you can kill the enemy, although I mean you can't kill Mr. X.
Well, you can kind of stagger him.
You can.
I think that's the main thing for me. Any game where you have some form of way to defend yourself, it takes away from the scariness. Like Layers of Fear, I can't play.
Layers of Fear
Soma as well
suffered a little bit to me, not nearly as bad, but suffered a little bit of the Outlast effect to where I was just like expecting the jump scares.
Yeah. I've never played it, but even watching it, I knew that it was mostly jump scares.
You know, you can turn the monsters off in Soma now. Although you know the end of Soma, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, that's really the only reason to play that if you haven't played that. It's such a good ending. I love the ending. Man, what are some other horror games?
Have you played Visage?
Yeah, I played a tiny bit of that. That's another game that I really want to play, but I want to wait for it to be finished. Silent Hill, I've always wanted to play the Silent Hill games.
Yeah, I've never played them.
Have you ever played Fatal Frame?
I have not. I've heard pretty good things though.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play those. You know, Fear was a pretty darn good horror game, even though it was still like a first-person shooter. That game definitely creeps me out.
I do have Fear, but never played it all that much. I played it for like 30 minutes to an hour.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Squash.
Do I need to play Fear? Hell?
You need to play Fear. Fear has some of the most incredible artificial intelligence in a game I've ever seen. Like the way the enemies will talk to each other and they'll like knock over like obstacles and things to like guard themselves or to like block your path. It is crazy how good the AI in that game is. And they'll like talk to each other and like say, he's over there. Oh, there's his flashlight or something like that. It's crazy. Oh man.
I think
Fear
my
so
issue
good.
is I remember as when I was younger seeing trailers for Fear.
Yeah.
And they absolutely freaked me out. Maybe that's why I'm hesitant to.
It's pretty intense, yeah. I got Fear running in VR.
Oh man.
And it actually worked really well. It was pretty fun. A little nauseating.
Yeah, I can imagine.
BioShock. You know, BioShock's pretty...
We don't need to go there, huh?
I don't know if I would call it a horror game, but it's definitely atmospheric. Eternal Darkness. That's a good game.
Kind of creepy to begin with.
Has anyone played Eternal Darkness?
I've heard of it.
It is... I would love a remake of Eternal Darkness. It has some of the most unique mechanics in a horror game I've ever seen. It has a... I can't remember what they call it, but the lower your health gets, the like weird things start happening in the game. Like you'll see,
like a sanity meter.
Yeah, it has a sanity meter. Like you'll start hearing things. Your vision will start doing things. Like you'll see things in the game that you don't know if they're real or not. Like there was a statue in a hallway that was talking to me.
Oh my!
It is bizarre.
That's similar to like what Call of Cthulhu and Sinking City wanted to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of similar to the way Amnesia, The Dark Descent, had a sanity meter. But it is much more in-depth. And I don't know why any other games haven't done this. It is just so well done. Coley says, if you like Japanese games, the Siren series. I have never even heard of that.
I have not either.
Oh, Dead Space. Dead Space is a really good pick, Coley. Dead Space
I have played
1
through Dead Space
in particular.
Man, I want another Dead Space.
Yeah, French, you're absolutely right that it is scripted when they knock over obstacles, but we're talking about Fear. It's just so well done. Like, all of it is scripted, but it's just so well done, and that's why it's artificial intelligence. It's not intelligence because it's artificial. But I don't know. It blows my mind how good it is and how well it is done. Fear is alternating between horror and action. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an action game, but it's got some pretty spooky moments in it. Silent Hill 2, do it. If I could find a good way to play it on PC, I would do it.
Speaking of horror, Hunt Showdown is actually a pretty scary game at times.
Is it? That game is free this weekend.
It is free this weekend to anyone who's interested.
I have
from what I played in like early days, I couldn't go into one of the boss fights because it just freaked me out too much. Like, I had to just escape the area and not do it. I gave up in the end.
I have a hard time getting into horror games that are like co-op multiplayer games like that.
Hunt does horror really well. It has easily one of the best like sound. The way it does sound is one of the best like I've seen in a first-person shooter for sure.
Interesting. Well, I don't know how in the world we started talking about this. I guess we were talking about Resident Evil.
RE3, yeah.
So yeah, Resident Evil 3 is coming out. Yeah, I'm super excited for that. What else did they announce? Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC expansion. Nobody cares about.
Well, I might have cared about it, but Kingdom Hearts 3 was... I think I'd kind of had enough of Kingdom Hearts by the time I got to 3, so...
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Untitled
Goose Game is coming out for PS4 on December 17th. Dreams has an official release date. This is kind of crazy to me. It has an official release date now of February 14th. I thought that game was just going to be in beta for years. You're still not super excited about Dreams. I am a little bit more excited than you are. If you don't know what Dreams is, it's a game. It's not really a game. It's like a set of... It is a game that they're selling it as a game, but it's more of like a way to create games on the PS4. And it's simplified, but yet it's extremely in-depth in what you can do in it. And people have made some pretty incredible stuff. But a lot of it is just kind of tech demos. And my hope, I'm banking on this for buying it, is that there will be at least like one or two decent games that come out of this. So, even if I get like one amazing game, it was only like $30, I think, that I bought it for, then it'll be worth it.
I just don't have much faith in the fact that we'll get much good from the engine.
Yeah.
Like, sure, there'll be some cool looking creations, but they'll kind of only look cool and not play for either very long or very well.
Right. What's that plan? Dreams is like Little Big Planet 3. Yeah, it's from the same developers as Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
Xbox tried that before, didn't they? It was called Project something or other.
I do remember what he's talking about.
I think I remember that too. Yeah. Let's see. Spellbreak was announced. It's a new battle royale. It's kind of
on PC for a while.
Though. Oh, has it?
Well, it's kind of been in beta on PC.
Okay.
Like, you had to sign up for it, I think, but yeah.
It's kind of an interesting take on battle royale. It's like more of a fantasy world. It looks like it could be interesting. I'm not super into battle royales though. Let's see. We also got Paper Beast, which is a VR sandbox game where you explore an ecosystem full of strange beasts, coming first quarter of 2020. The Predator game is coming out April 24th. I don't think I'm going to be super into this. It's kind of a multiplayer game.
It does look fun, but...
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it looks fun if you like those kind of games. I just don't
yeah.
really like those kind of games.
I
It's
expect it'll probably be like the new Dead by Daylight or Friday the
yeah,
13th.
that's what I was going to compare it to. It's kind of like Dead
Hmm.
by Daylight, which is crazy popular.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll do well. We got some footage from Babylon's Fall, which
Hmm.
is the Square Enix Platinum game. Um, it I still don't know what to think about it. It looks like it could be good. It looks kind of like near a little
Hmm.
bit, but it's more of a fantasy environment,
Yeah.
medieval fantasy. So yeah,
I kind of, from the trailer they showed, I kind of got the vibe that it was very much them just putting together something to show,
yeah,
um, and that it wouldn't really reflect like the environment you'd get in the game. Like, sure, there'll
yeah.
probably be like a tower slash ruins environment, but
Platinum Games is such a weird developer to me because they are working on so much stuff.
it is mad. Yeah.
They just put out Astral Chain. They also are working on Bayonetta 3, Babylon's Fall,
Hmm.
and I think there's something else that they're working on too. Like these are
Probably.
huge games.
They must have a like their studio must be pretty big.
That's the thing. I didn't think that they were that big.
Well, neither did I really.
How big is Platinum Games? Let's see. Japanese video game developer. Wait, they were founded in October 2007? They are not very old.
Not at all.
They have 224 employees. Like, how do they make all these
That's.
games?
I mean,
Like, that's
seeing as
a
Babylon's Fall is with or in tandem with Square Enix, I guess they don't need as many developers from Platinum
yeah.
to help with that. But
I don't know. Interesting.
maybe it's like Ruben says, and their crunch is absolutely horrible. But I
Maybe
doubt
so.
that with all the media about crunch lately. So
I do too, Vermalt. Vermalt is saying I want them to finish Bayonetta 3. We have not heard anything about Bayonetta 3 for a long time.
hmm
I hope
wasn't it
it's
like 2 Game Awards ago now?
yeah,
2017.
2017 is when it was announced.
Hmm.
And then like we just got a tiny teaser and we haven't heard anything else. Well, that's not true. I think there was a Nintendo Direct that they said like we are still working on Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, because there was the whole thing with them like restarting development on Metroid or Metroid
Yeah,
Prime
that's
4.
right. Let's see. Was there anything else announced in Sony's thing?
That puzzle game Superliminal is coming to PS4, but that's been out on PC for a little
Yeah,
bit now.
that's out on the Epic Game Store. I really want to try that game out.
It does look pretty unique and cool.
It looks like a mix between Portal and the Stanley Parable.
Yeah,
Have you played the Stanley Parable?
I have.
That's a fantastic game. Have you played Dr. Langskov?
I did also play that.
Hidden Tiger Dragon,
Something.
whatever the name
It's a
is.
very complicated title.
Yeah, it's only like 20 minutes long, but that's so good
Yeah.
and it's free. If nobody has played that, hold on, I'll find it and post it in chat because it's well worth your 20 minutes of time.
I think that was honestly one of the first games I played on my PC, like when I started playing PC games.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, chat. If you guys have not played this, don't look anything about this game. Go download this game. It's completely free. It's like 20 minutes long. And it is so fun. Let's see. Let's move on to the Game Awards, shall we?
Sounds good.
So, do we want to talk about like any of the winners, or do we just want to talk about the announcements?
I mean, I think we should just talk about the announcements personally, because most of the awards they gave out were like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like, I mean, for the most part, like all they did like 5 awards on stage at most.
Yeah.
everything else was just off to the side. They felt so insignificant compared to everything else happening.
That's the way it always is. You know, I feel like more and more you just watch the Game Awards for the announcements, and the awards are just kind of a side thing. I mean, we could mention Game of the Year. The winner was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, which was quite surprising to me.
Yes, very surprising.
It was and it wasn't. The more I thought about it, you know, looking at the list, I really didn't think that Sekiro was, or that Death Stranding was going to win, just from all of the critics that have been talking about it, and there's very, very mixed reaction from that. RE2, I feel like had a good chance, but I feel like it was a little bit more of a niche genre. Super Smash Brothers, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's a good game for people that like those games, but Game of the Year, like greatest game of all time. No, Control, for me personally, I think that could easily be a winner. And was there another one other than Sekiro?
I think that's it.
So yeah, that just leaves Sekiro. And, you know, out of that list, for me, it was really, really close between Sekiro and Resident Evil 2. I would have been fine with honestly any of those games winning, other than Smash, because, again, nothing against Smash, but I just don't think it's Game of the Year.
No.
So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm thrilled that it won. I'm thrilled for FromSoft.
Yeah, same. I'm glad that, like, seeing Miyazaki happy that his game has won an award because it's good makes me hopeful that he will kind of trust in the fact that, like, FromSoft can make what they want.
Yeah,
and it'll be good regardless.
Yeah, because this was a pretty big departure from, like, you know, what they have been doing. I mean, yeah, it is still a Souls game for the most part, but it's pretty different from, you know, Bloodborne. Like, Dark Souls to Bloodborne was not a huge difference in the gameplay itself, like the mechanics. There were a few things that were different, but it was still essentially a Souls game. Sekiro is so different. Like, I still would call it a Souls game, but it's barely a Souls game.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any stamina, and that's a huge part of the Souls genre, in my opinion. Also, The Outer Worlds was nominated. I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't finished The Outer Worlds, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I think the three I wanted or would have been happy with winning was RE2, Sekiro, and Death Stranding. Death Stranding was kind of a latecomer to that, though, because I only finished it relatively recently. But having finished it, it definitely was up there with RE2 and Sekiro.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, were there any other big stories as far as winners? I think Disco Elysium was really interesting that it won so many things. Just because that game just came out of nowhere, it seems like. Super glad that Luigi's Mansion 3 got the win for Family Game. I personally would have put it with Game of the Year, and I think it could have been a strong contender for Game of the Year. Because when I look back at games and think about, like, games that I enjoyed the most, Luigi's Mansion 3 may be the top for me.
I probably would have put it in Best Action Adventure, but maybe not Game of the Year. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, like the story, there's not really much of a story in Luigi's Mansion 3, but it is just jolly.
It really is.
Kind of sad that Outer Wilds didn't win for Fresh Indie Game. But again, Disco Elysium won, and that game just seems like it's amazing.
We'll find out soon enough.
Okay. Yeah. Just looking through everything really quick. I don't really think there's a whole lot else that was like super surprising or anything to talk about.
Just to answer Coley's question, if the Star Wars game or if Fallen Order would have made the time cutoff for the nomination, do you think that could have had a chance to win? I assume Game of the Year.
Definitely not Game of the Year for me.
Not for me either. I definitely think it should have been up there for some awards over some other games, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is a controversy every year that there's a cutoff point that's like early November, which is just bizarre that these other games are not. Now, Fallen Order will be in next year's Game Awards, but nobody really remembers it then. And
I don't
really
think it will be with the amount of
about
games coming out next year, though.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's kind of a shame. Because I mean, it's definitely good, but I don't know. For me, like the story is okay. The gameplay is good, but not great. Like everything about it was just kind of good, but not great to me. But yeah, that's a good question. All right, well, let's move on to the announcement, shall we?
Sure thing.
So they started off big with announcing the next Xbox, officially announcing the next Xbox, which is called the Xbox Series X.
Which is weird.
It's a terrible name.
Yeah, it really
I'm still confused. I mean, I think that this is just what they're calling it. I don't think that this is going to be like multiple Xboxes. I mean, they may have multiple Xboxes, but I think this is just the name. It's the Xbox Series X.
I thought it was like part of the X series to begin with.
Yeah.
And then it was going to have its own separate name, but it's literally called the Xbox Series X.
It's a terrible name.
There's going to be so many dumb nicknames for this thing.
Yeah, people are already calling it the Sex Box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just call it Xbox.
Yeah, I think so too. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Anything besides Series X, Xbox 2, or but you can't really call it Xbox 2.
Point. Like we dropped Nintendo off of consoles like the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo GameCube, and we just call them the GameCube and the Switch. Maybe people would just call it the Series X, but that just feels weird.
I think people are just going to call it the Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what they've done with the Xbox One, I guess. Comparing Xbox and PS4 this gen.
Yeah, I don't know. Besides the name, what do you think?
I like the design. It's definitely grown on me.
It's just a box. It's a black box.
Yeah, but it's simple. I'm very into simplistic type styles for things. So I like it quite a bit. In regards to the actual specs of the console, I might have to buy both consoles next holiday. I'm not gonna lie.
You're crazy, man. Why in the world are you gonna buy an Xbox? There's no reason to buy an Xbox when you have a PC.
I'm worried about my PC not being up to par with how the Xbox would perform though.
So just build a better PC.
But then that's going to be more expensive than buying the Xbox.
But then you're not going to be able to play PC games.
But I'll still have my PC. I can just play the not Xbox games.
You're crazy.
I'll figure it out somehow.
We're gonna have a lot of stuff to buy next year. You know the Squash.
I know.
We got like 8 million games that are coming out next year. We got a PS5 coming out. How much do you think this is going to cost?
I don't think it'll be above $500.
I think it's probably going to be 500. I hope the PlayStation 5 is going to be 500.
Yeah.
I think they're probably both going to be 500. That's a lot of money still, though. What do you think about the controller? I mean, it basically looks like the regular controller.
Yeah, I prefer the Xbox One controller over the PS4 one, so I'm perfectly fine with them keeping the design. I like the addition of the share button because the share button on the PS4 controller is pretty nice.
Yeah.
The change to the D-pad seems like a good change.
It kind of looks like the Elite's D-pad.
Yeah, it does. And I'm glad to see that they've taken feedback from the Elite and putting that into their next mainstream controller. And hopefully it'll be more built like the Elite than the original Xbox One controller because there is a big difference in build quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm perfectly fine with how the controller looks and will probably feel.
Yeah, I like the Xbox One controller. I don't love the offset, the offset sticks, but that's a very much a personal preference. I think I like the PS4 controller better. But yeah, I'm glad that they're not changing it too much because I think they have a pretty good design. All right, let's see what else. So they announced the Xbox. They showed off Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, which is the sequel to Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. That was a disturbing trailer.
Very. But also very, very cool.
Incredible looking. I mean, it literally looks like they had just recorded that, like, a movie or something like that, but it supposedly is in-game footage, in-engine footage, I guess. That'll be coming out as a launch title. Of course, Halo will also be coming out. So let's see. We know 2 games that are coming out for Xbox right now: Halo and Hellblade. And then they snuck in Godfall, which is going to be a PlayStation.
PS5. Yep. PS5 game.
A PlayStation launch title. I don't really know a whole lot about it. It looks like kind of an action RPG, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of they called it like a looter slasher. It's kind of built. They said it's designed to be played co-op, but you can play it solo.
Yeah, it makes me nervous, honestly.
I'm personally very excited for it because it's like my jam.
Anthem was billed as a looter shooter too.
We all know how Anthem turned out.
Yeah, fantastic, right?
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with it at all.
Who is developing this? Do we know?
Counterplay Games.
Counterplay Games. Have they made anything
Never heard
else?
of them.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
It's being published by Gearbox, though, so.
Counterplay Games. I'm just going to look them up really quick and see if they've made anything else. About Us. Our first game, Duelist. Never heard of this. This is a card game. Oh, wow. That's literally all they've made. That's interesting. It's a pretty small team, 75 people. I mean, they have a pretty impressive portfolio. They have people that have worked on Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Diablo 3, Gears 5, Star Wars, Battlefront, Titanfall 2, Left 4 Dead, Evolve, Halo 5, Battlefield 3, Bioshock Infinite, Call of Duty, Injustice 2, and Overwatch. So that's a pretty diverse team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, can't really say a whole lot about that, but I'm sure we'll find out more in E3.
Yeah.
Bravely Default 2 was announced for the Switch. That looks nice. Don't have a whole lot to say about it. A lot of these, I feel like we just didn't get a whole lot of information about.
It was mostly cinematics.
Yeah.
I think, which is a shame because that's always how it is. I do wish they'd show actual gameplay, but
yeah. Yeah, me too. Especially when you're revealing a game.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a tiny bit of gameplay, just show me something.
I think the Ghost of Tsushima trailer they played was pretty good because they had those small snippets of gameplay in there, kind of combined with the cutscene, and I think that was good enough.
Yeah.
I can never get enough.
Weird West was revealed. I think this looks interesting. You were kind of lukewarm on it, right?
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not a big fan of the cell shading. I just think it's a bit out of date.
I think if it's done well, I think cell shading is nice. But But it's a personal preference. I totally understand not liking it.
I may love the game when it comes out, but this trailer didn't completely sell me on it.
Again, we still don't really know what type of game this is. I mean, it's kind of like a top-down perspective, but is it like...
I think they said it's an action RPG.
Okay. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like a
Diablo,
turn-based...
Yeah, I don't think turn-based.
Yeah,
is the
action
way they're
RPG.
going.
Okay. That is... Oh, yeah, it's by the co-creators of Prey and Dishonored. That got me very interested.
But it's nothing like either of those games.
Yeah. League of Legends. This was weird.
Mm-hmm.
They're creating a game called Ruins King, a League of Legends story. It's a single-player strategy turn-based RPG game. You know, I'm down for it. It looks like it could be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Alliance is a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate. This was a weird trailer. I don't know. All these trailers were just weird. It's like the camera's attached to the people that are running, and then like the camera's attached to the arrows. I don't know. Again, I still don't know what this game is or what it looks like.
Well, we kind of, I think, thought it was going to be like Vermintide, but if it's a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate or a version of Baldur's Gate, then is it going to be like a deep RPG or what?
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. It says Slay Together, though. That's got to be like a Vermintide type game, right?
Or it's referencing the fact that there's like parties in the game that you can form.
Yeah. Oh, we got this tiny bit of teaser from PlayerUnknown.
Yep.
Like literally just showed nothing.
Well, it showed something. It was a very pretty looking
nothing
forest.
Squash. Nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All these trailers were just weird. We got some release dates. Ori and Will of the Wisps is coming out March 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Control has an expansion that's coming out March 26th. Gears Tactics got a release date of April 28th. I'm super excited for that. PS4 exclusive Ghost of Tsushima is slated for summer 2020.
Yep.
And then Fast and the Furious. What a bizarre trailer that is.
It just looked like a 360 game, honestly.
Some
like
of it looked
like Wheelman.
Some of it looked okay, and some of it looked really bad.
Yeah.
And this just blows my mind that this was the last trailer that they showed before announcing Game of the Year. Like they ended on this trailer.
It was like just an odd way to end things, like you say.
Yeah, I don't understand why they had Vin Diesel and what's her name announce Game of the Year. It was just weird.
Yeah, because they were acting like they're big into games, but I was struggling to like see it as genuine.
I mean, I feel like they were kind of genuine, but again, like why? Why did they use them, and why did they show this then? And it's just strange. Final Fantasy VII Remake got another trailer. This is only like the 80th trailer that they've shown. Don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for that game, but I don't need any more trailers at this point. Humankind, this game looks quite interesting to me. It's kind of a Civ 5, or not Civ 5, just a Civ style game where you build up a civilization. I'm pretty excited for that.
It looks interesting for sure.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 expansion coming out. I'm not really into that.
No.
Magic Legends, not really into Magic. Maneater, did Maneater actually get a release date? I feel like it did, didn't
I
it?
don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe it did.
I can't
Let
remember.
me check quickly.
I'm talking, of course, about Maneater.
Yeah, it did. 22nd of May.
Right. Well, there's no other games coming out in May, so
None at all. Not
Probably
like
be a good time to
Avengers
play.
or The Last of Us 2 or anything.
who is? I mean, I know that was Sydney Goodman Stone, but
Mhm.
who is she?
She's an IGN presenter, I think. Yeah, IGN host.
Oh, okay. I don't watch anything with IGN. Nothing
Neither
against
do I, to be
IGN. I
honest.
just don't really watch it.
Mhm.
Naraka Blade Point. I don't even remember this.
This was the For Honor looking Japanese game.
Oh, with the super annoying beginning.
Yeah.
This actually looks pretty interesting to me. You say it looks like For Honor. I feel like it looks more like Sekiro.
Maybe a cross between the two. I just say For Honor because of like the one-on-one dueling and the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks really good to me.
It does look pretty damn good.
No release date though, I don't think, right? Just 2020.
Yeah.
9 to 5.
This trailer was weird.
This was a really weird trailer.
But the competition is sending their teams.
I was able to sign up for the beta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just barely anything about that. No More Heroes 3. I know a lot of people were excited about that. I don't know anything about No More Heroes. Apex Legends has holiday events going on. Sons of the Forest was announced. This is a sequel to The Forest. I never
Yeah,
could
this
get
looks
into The
pretty cool.
Forest, but I know you played it, right?
I have not played it. I do have it though. I kind of bought it because I was planning on playing through co-op with a couple people, and then that kind of fell through. So
Maybe we should try and play The Forest sometime, because I've tried to play it, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it. It was just weird to me. Maybe it
I
would be more
definitely down
fun
to try it.
for playing co-op, though.
Yeah.
This was a weird trailer. Very creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Surgeon
Yeah,
Simulator.
to begin with, it was weird.
Yeah, Surgeon Simulator 2 was announced. Oh, and then this may have like saved the Game Awards for me. The
For sure.
Wolf Among Us 2, a Telltale series, is officially back.
Was a time when you were
I loved The Wolf Among Us 1. I know you loved The Wolf Among Us 1.
a monster.
A lot of people loved it, and we thought that it was over when Telltale went out of business. But somehow I guess they got the rights to it. I don't really know who's creating it.
It's complicated, but basically, there's kind of two people who bought the rights to Telltale and all the games that they had rights to before they went bankrupt
Mhm.
or they went under.
Can I count?
And then since they bought the company, they've now rehired old Telltale employees and have continued development on like The Wolf Among Us 2 and whatever else they're working on. I think that's how it was working.
It's crazy to me that this game exists.
Time when you were
I'm super excited. I really loved The Wolf Among Us
a
1.
monster.
I think Walking Dead 1 and Wolf Among Us 1 were easily my favorite Telltale games.
Did you play the Batman ones?
I never played any of the Batman ones. I heard really good things about them.
I think personally for me it goes Wolf Among Us, Batman, then Walking Dead.
Can I count on you?
Wow, I think I would probably put
Baby, can I count
Walking
on
Dead
you?
above Wolf Among Us for me.
That's only because I think I'd watched like 2 or 3 different people play through the whole of The Walking Dead season 1 before I played it.
Hmm. Oh,
So maybe
yeah.
that kind of ruined it for
Yeah,
me.
if I hadn't, or if I had, like already seen the ending and everything, then
Hmm.
I would definitely feel different. But playing that game as it came out, and man, just the way that game ends, and just the
Mhm.
feeling that I had after that game was a feeling that I will never forget.
Yeah. Also, DeSellis is right. The new season of Wolf Among Us does have the same lead writer as the first season, which is very promising.
That's good, yeah.
Also, I'll just make a PSA real quick. The first season of The Wolf Among Us is free on the Epic Store right now.
Wow.
So if you have not played it, go
Go
and play it.
play The Wolf Among Us. It's fantastic.
Yeah, as Zeptimus said, you need to go play it now.
You do, Zep, yeah. I mean, if you like those kind of games, there are people that might just not really like those kind of games. I'll admit, I'm not really a huge fan of the style and the genre of the way they play. I like the storytelling and I like the decisions that you get to make, but the actual gameplay I don't really like that much.
Batman definitely felt the most unique of all the ones I've played in terms of gameplay innovation.
Oh, interesting. I need to play those. That was pretty much it that was announced at the Game Awards. Overall, what did you think of the Game Awards this year?
I think people aren't giving it enough credit as it deserves, because there was a lot of people. The issue with stuff like the Game Awards is people create these kind of expectations in their head that certain games are going to be announced, and then they're not announced, and then they blame the developers because like these games haven't been announced,
Yeah.
even though they said nothing previously about it, and that always just ticks me off, because it's like, why even expect it if nothing's been hinted at or whatever. But I think the amount of surprises we got that weren't leaked and they kind of came out of nowhere, it was incredibly like rewarding to watch through, and just like you said, The Wolf Among Us made the show for me. Sons of the Forest was a cool announcement.
I just thought a lot of the trailers were not very good.
Yeah, that is kind of the main issue, is that the majority of them were all cinematic CGI type stuff.
Yeah, and they just didn't do a very good job at really showing what they needed to show, in my opinion, to really get me interested.
Mm-hmm. I think for what it is, though, the fact that it's kind of put together by this one guy, Jeff Keighley, and he kind of, I suppose it's not all put together by him, but he sorts it all out every year, and the kind of how far it's come since it started is
It's definitely come a long way.
impressive.
Yeah.
Because it literally felt like we were watching an E3 conference yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think he knows that it's kind of gotten to the point to where, like most people watch this for the announcements, not so much for the awards, which I think that's fine. And maybe that's why they, kind of gloss over a lot of the awards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I mean, the show itself, what would you rate it out of 10? Let's give it a rating.
Personally, I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Or 7.5, maybe.
No, don't let me influence your choice.
7.5 or 8. I'm very like kind when it comes to ratings, though.
I should also. Everyone has like a different scale that they use. I feel like for 1 out of 10. For me, like a 5 is average. Like 10 is greatest thing of all time. 0 is worst thing of all time. So for me, I would probably just give it a 5. Like it was average. Nothing was like super amazing. Like Wolf Among Us was fantastic. Maybe that might bump it up to a 6 for me. But for the most part, everything was just kind of like, everything just fell a little flat to me.
Mm-hmm. My rating is kind of that a 7 is mediocre, and then 6 is like subpar, 5 is pretty bad, and then everything below that is like, don't buy this game.
So basically, we're rating it about the same then.
I mean, basically.
If a 7 is average to you, right?
Well, maybe a bit above average. I don't know.
Okay.
It just feels like most games that are rated 7s nowadays are just like average. They're just your average game.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't like the 1 out of 10. Why are we even doing 1 out of 10?
Who
It was
knows?
okay. It was okay
was-
out of 10.
I would say it was pretty decent out of 10.
Okay. Well, there you go. Okay out of 10, pretty decent out of 10. Um 3 of those points is for Sydney. What about Sydney's dress? What would you rate Sydney's dress?
Oh man, it was not a good dress.
Let's see. We have a couple of questions in Discord. We also have some movies to talk about.
Do we?
Well, you put something on there, didn't you? Or was that for last
I
week?
had done, but that was for last week, I think, and we never got around to talking about it, I don't think. But I remember what they were if you want to talk about them.
Yeah, we can just mention them really quick.
So I watched the Jumanji remake for the first time, the one with like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart.
Have you ever seen the original Jumanji?
I haven't.
Oh, it's so good.
But like even my parents said that they preferred the remake over the original one.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought it was pretty funny. I liked how it was, I guess, modernized. Like they made it a game cartridge rather than a board game.
Mhm.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he doesn't get enough credit. I don't think he has a very high variety of stuff he can do as an actor.
Yeah,
even though
he does.
He's he's an ex WWE wrestler.
I don't think he's an amazing actor, but he's just so nice and just
Yeah, you just can't help but love him, really.
yeah. I mean, he does a good job with what he has.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to win any Academy Awards for his acting, I don't think. But
No, I don't think so.
he's in so many movies. And like every time I watch a movie with him, like it's enjoyable,
Yeah.
Did
Did you ever see Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I kind of wanted to, though. I didn't know if it was any good.
Yeah, it's it's like it's a slightly above average out of 10.
Fair enough. So like a 6, 7 out of 10 for you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Jumanji 1 has Robin Williams. How can you not like it? Yeah, I mean, I love Jumanji, the original Jumanji. Well, let's see.
The other, I will say, there was 2 things I put down. The other one was the Lion King remake.
Oh yeah.
I was a huge fan of the original Lion King. Maybe not as much as my sister because I didn't cry every time I watched it. Nor did I cry while watching the remake. But also, I didn't like the remake obviously as much as the original because while I mean it looked pretty and the animations were impressive and all the CGI and all that was impressive, but like when they were singing, it just looked weird. Like seeing the voices come out of their mouths, but they're emotionless animals. It just didn't feel like as powerful or meaningful as the original songs did in the original film.
I have absolutely zero desire to see this movie.
If you have seen the original and loved it, I wouldn't. There's not much point watching.
I love the original. It was one of the first movies I remember seeing in the movie theaters. Like I have such fond memories from it. I used to watch it as a kid many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't have any desire to see a live action version of that. I would much rather watch the original. Especially knowing that it's like a shot for shot remake.
It really is. Like there's no difference at all. Although I will say Seth Rogen, he voices Pumbaa, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He really breaks the fourth wall at times.
Interesting.
It's kind of weird. Like Donald Glover, he starts like riffing at the end of the song, and Seth Rogen brings it up as though it was like as though it was something he talked about in the recording studio. It's weird.
Hmm.
I don't know.
You excited for Star Wars?
Very. I'm seeing it the day it comes out, even though I know I'm probably going to be incredibly disappointed.
Are there any good movies coming out? I feel like there's. Oh, I know something I'm super excited for is the World War One movie.
Oh yeah,
1917 or something like that. What's that?
yeah.
Yeah, 1917. Um, the thing that really intrigues me about this movie is it's shot in the style to make it look like it's one take. Did you know about that?
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Birdman. Did you watch Birdman?
I haven't seen Birdman.
No. You should watch that. I feel like you would like that.
You think? I know it's on Netflix.
Is it really? Yeah, you should
At
definitely
least
check
the
it out.
UK Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, that, and it's a World War One movie, which I feel like World War One does not get nearly enough. I was about to say praise. We don't praise World War One enough. No,
Screen time.
Yeah,
I
it
would
doesn't.
say.
It doesn't get enough screen time. It's always World War Two stuff. But
Yeah.
World War One is very, very interesting to me, and this movie is shot in a way that it's made to look like one continuous take. The cinematography just looks insane in this game. There's a little
In this
bit
game?
of in this movie. There's a little like behind the scenes footage that they showed on YouTube, and I was watching it, and it just looks incredible the way that it's shot. So I'm super excited for that. I'm pretty sure that's coming out this month.
I want to see this now.
Yeah. Is there anything else that comes out this month that you know of?
There has been some cool movie announcements. There was a trailer for the new Wonder Woman movie that came out, and that looks pretty promising. What else? I don't know about movies coming out this month, other than like Star Wars is the main one.
Star Wars
then,
in 1917. I think that's the main thing for me.
Yeah.
That I want to see. We had just as always, you guys can leave questions in the Discord if you want us to answer anything. But we had just a couple. Vermalt and I were talking. She was saying, "What's a movie that you can watch no matter what mood you're in? What's a movie that like you just, no matter what, if it's on TV or like you're just scrolling through Netflix and you can watch it." For me, Shawshank Redemption is one.
I've never seen it.
I don't even want to talk to you anymore.
Okay. I shouldn't have said that.
Forrest Gump is definitely one. Jurassic
Not seen
Park
it
is
either.
one.
I
You
have
haven't
seen
seen
Jurassic Park.
Forest Park? You haven't seen Forest Park? Ooh, The
No, I
Fifth
haven't
Element.
seen Forrest Gump.
That's
I have
a
seen
good
The Fifth
one.
Element.
Not a movie, but a series. Season 1 of True Detective. Ooh, I
I need to watch that show.
I love season 1 of True Detective, but I don't know if I would want to just watch it like anytime it's on. It's kind of intense.
Yeah, I've seen, I think, the first episode, and it was disturbing to say the least.
Yeah. Road to El Dorado.
Oh,
I
know
have
that
not
film.
seen that movie in forever. I forgot about that movie, DeSalis.
That's the one with Chris Hemsworth, right?
Wait.
Or am I thinking of a different movie?
I don't remember now. I haven't seen season
No, it's
3,
not Chris
Stone.
Hemsworth.
I tried watching season 2 and just couldn't really get into it. But I've heard season 3 was pretty good. Multipass. Yeah, Fifth Element, that's a really good one, Coley. Also, any games that you guys can think of, any games that like just no matter what, you can just go and play this game.
I would say in regards to movies, I think I can sit down and watch any Spider-Man movie, regardless of what kind of mood I'm
Vermont
in.
said Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire, yeah.
I can do that for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe the Star Wars prequels as well. I kind of love the prequels, I'm not going to lie. I just need to get that out there.
I don't know. For me, I mean, I like the prequels, but I kind of have to be in the mood to watch any Star Wars.
That's fair.
True Lies. Have you ever seen True Lies?
Don't think I've even heard of it.
Oh man, there's so many good like 90s action movies, and True Lies is just like the perfect 90s action movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
I do feel like Terminator could be one. I've only seen it for the first time recently.
Have you watched
definitely
Terminator
feels
2
like-
yet?
I still really need to. I thought it was on Netflix, and it's not, and I'm very sad. So I'm trying to find somewhere I can watch it.
French says a fighting game, probably just play a few games. Castlevania HD is my go-to. Could play anytime. Interesting. Bloodborne is definitely my go-to game. Dark Souls 1 through 3, yeah. I don't know, there's something about Souls games that like I can just relax and just chill with a Souls game.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know if there's any game I can sit down and play regardless of the mood I'm in, though.
Sometimes
that's a hard one.
I feel like I can usually always enjoy like a city builder like Anno or something like that.
Yeah.
Squash is like a clean slate. I know, right? I get
We need
jealous.
to get like a list of movies for me to watch, honestly.
We do. We need a movie list.
For sure.
A Squash movie list.
As though my Netflix watch list isn't long enough already.
We'll have to do that. We'll have to start that, Squash.
Yeah, for sure. That would honestly be great for me.
I'm trying to think about games. Games I feel are a little bit harder because like I feel like you have to kind of really invest in a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not many like single player games for sure either that you can like sit down and play regardless of the mood you're in.
I would have said Binding of Isaac. I may still say Binding of Isaac because like you can just do a run through Binding of Isaac in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tetris. That's a really good answer, French.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Have you seen Donnie Dark?
No, I haven't seen Donnie Darko.
Donnie Dark? Is it Donnie Darko? Yeah, Donnie Darko. I don't know.
It's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it, right?
It does. It's kind of a weird movie. It's an interesting one though. It's worth watching.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Rising is a good play in the mood game. You know what, Decellis? I was thinking about playing Dead Rising 4. Is that the one that takes place during the holidays?
Yes, I enjoyed that game. Honestly, I think it was last Christmas. Honestly, I sat down and just played it because it was on the Game Pass, and I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I thought I would.
I really like to play.
Got really into it.
I really like to play games like that when it's like the holidays or something. If it's like a holiday game, I remember that came out originally on Xbox around the holidays, but it was like a 3-month delay for it to coming into PC.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to play, a Christmas game in March. Speaking of movies, I wonder if we ever get a new Matrix game. It's been a while. There's a new Matrix movie.
Yes, it comes out the same day as John Wick 4, funnily enough.
Does it really? I don't know how I feel about this.
So for bloody Keanu opening weekend.
We don't know anything about it, though, do we?
Other than it's got like Keanu and I don't know the other actor's name. I think I've only seen The Matrix once or twice. I don't even know if I've seen the full trilogy.
I love all of the Matrix movies. I know people hate on 2 and 3, but I still love them. When is it coming out? What's the date?
I'm currently blanking.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, goodness. May 21st, 2021.
Oh, that is further out than I thought.
Okay.
I thought it was next year for some reason.
It's about to be next year in...
Well, I suppose so.
Just
that
few
is insane
weeks.
to think about.
I know, right? well, I think that's pretty much going to do it for us, Squash. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I do not think so. I think we've pretty much kind of gotten through everything that we set out to get through.
I think so. This was a fun show, though. I feel like we had some good discussions.
Mm-hmm.
I really like just rambling about stuff.
It really is a fun thing to do. And we always get to do it like every week, even though like we come into these shows worried that we might not
We're
have enough
always
stuff to
worried that we're
talk
not going to
about.
have anything to talk about, and we spend
Yep,
2 hours talking
and-
about stuff.
Like this has been one of our longer shows,
Yeah.
and it's also been one of the most fun. So
Stone says,
having
I
chat
guess
there to
we've
ask questions and stuff is
squashed
great.
all the topics.
I think that's my key to leave.
Well, thank you guys for coming out. I think we are going to probably start doing these on Friday, probably around the same time, around 2, maybe a little later, 2 p.m. Central Time. But just hang with us while we transition to the new time. And we're still kind of, figuring all this out as we go. But I really enjoy doing this, and I just love talking about video games and just hanging out with you.
It is a lot of fun.
So thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And I guess we will say goodbye. We will see you guys next week.
Yep.
All
See
right.
you next Friday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.